everyone, I'm Ken and welcome back to the Thrifty Apprentice Studio. Today's video is going to be the 5th installment in the beginning watercolor series, where we will be concentrating on a few basic techniques with layering watercolors. Anyone interested can reference the Thrifty Apprentice channel playlist page in order to watch the uploaded videos based on the series they were made for. So we will talk a little about the different effects of layering watercolors and do a quick tutorial demo as we usually do. The supplies we are going to be using today will be a piece of 6x9, 140-pound acid-free cold press watercolor paper by Artist Loft, as well as a piece of 6x6, 140-pound cold press paper by Master's Touch. The paints we will be using today will be a 12-2 12-milliliter set of paints by Grumbacher Academy, which I've already placed into half pans and let them dry down. Brushes we're going to be using will be a number 4 round and a number 4 flat, which just came out of one of Royal and Lang Nichols variety packs, which I picked up out of Walmart. However, you guys, please remember to use whatever you have on hand, whatever paints, brushes, and papers that you have, as long as the paper is watercolor paper. It will work and it'll be fine for this exercise. So let's jump right in. If you are asking how to layer watercolors, then let me tell you. Once a color of paint has dried, you can add layers of watercolor to create dimension, texture, and color variation. Just know that the paper has to be completely dry in between washes so that the colors don't bleed together and become muddy. After the initial color has dried completely, the second layer or wash of color is added on top of the original layer. You would also want to limit the amount of water in your water to paint ratio as you add layers to prevent re-wetting the initial color and causing the two to blend or the previous layer to lift, unless that was your intention. Okay, so here you will see I have a couple examples of a solid wash that I have already let dry. Now we are going to be adding a second layer of the same color to the first example. This will vary the color, making it darker, as well as helping to add a little texture to the paint. So I'll go ahead and grab a brush here, that number 4 flat. And the color that I've let dry down already is known as Grumbacher red, which it did not, have a reference as to what color that actually is on the package or in anything included in the package. But basically, I just took that Grumbacher red and watered it down in order to make it more of a pinky rosy color. And that is how I painted my first layer for each one. The top triangle, you will see I did make it more of a 3D triangle because we'll be using that one to show you how layering can be used for adding shadow. Okay, so I should also tell you guys that layering is also known as glazing, which is how you hear it referred to by most artists. So we are going to go ahead and taking that Grumbacher red, and I should also mention that the brushes I'm using are synthetic brushes because they're going to help me control the amount of water that I use in my mixture. And I'm just going to paint a second layer on top of the first layer that's already there, and you will see right away that it deepens the color, making it richer and adding texture. As you guys can see, that paper is peeling a little, and I'm not really rubbing that hard at all. Suffice it to say, I am testing these papers as well as this paint for upcoming video upcoming video reviews. So you guys be sure to stay tuned and subscribe so that you do not miss any of those. So there we have painted a second layer on top of the first layer, darkening and deepening the color. Again, this is known as glazing. So In our second example, we are going to look at a different way glazing offers depth and variation. Glazing takes patience and is actually a term that I heard is borrowed from oil painting. Glazing is done from light to dark, as you say. We started with a lighter color and I added a glaze to make it darker. And it allows the artist to control the value of each color applied to the painting. Here, we're going to just take a look at how we can take a second layer and actually add shadow by deepening the color. So I'm just going to grab a little bit more paint. And here, this is where I'm using less water in my paint to water ratio and more paint. And we're going to pretend that the light is coming from the left. So if we were adding a shadow, it would be on the right side of our three-dimensional triangle. So I'm just going to go ahead and shade this side in a lot darker because it would not be getting light like the front side of the triangle would be. So we've basically glazed a second layer of the same color on top of the dried first layer with less water in our paint to water ratio in order to add depth and shadow to the side of the three-dimensional object that was not receiving or that was not in the light. Let me just also throw in and say at this particular point, guys, please keep in mind that all of the information and all of the things that I'm relaying to you are my interpretation of resources and lessons and things that I've seen and retained and have learned in order to help me, in my quest to become a better watercolor artist. And I'm relaying these things in video to you, hoping that maybe you can use them in your journey as well. So whenever you see a subtle color change in a painting, it's because the artist has glazed one color over the first color. So here we looked at just glazing directly on top of a flat object, making a light color darker. Here we used it using glazing with less water in our paint to water ratio in order to shadow or shade the side of an object that would not be receiving light, which would make it darker. Here we're going to look at how you can use glazing in order to blend a color. So I have the Grumbacher red down, and I am just going to use, I'm going to take a mixture of that red, and I'm going to do a little color mix in here. I'm going to add some yellow to that, and it's because I want to make an orange to glaze on top of the red with. I'm thinking that'll be, and then we're going to try to get those colors to blend with glazing. So I'm just going to pick up some of my paint here, and on this side of the triangle, and I'm going to turn my paper so I can see, I'm going to glaze lightly on the orange color that I just mixed together, and we are going to see if we can make it look like these colors are blended. And this is why I used a flat brush with this, because I knew it would help me get into the corners of the triangle. All right, so now I'm going to rinse my brush, and I'm going to, just with water, try to blend out that harsh line. Just to make it look like the colors gradiate into each other a little bit better. And I didn't do the best job with that, but I'm sure you guys get the point. see if I can straighten it up a little bit. There we go. And guys, do keep in mind, we are going to be doing a quick tutorial showing you how to use this in a painting. All right. So now we're going to take a look at the last triangle on how you can use glazing to do color mixing. Now, I hope this works. I've already put the red down and let it dry. So now we're going to actually use, let's see, ultramarine. Let's use ultramarine. And we know that red and blue makes violet. So we're going to glaze on a layer of ultramarine to see if we can actually get the colors to blend and mix and make a violet. Let's see. Well, there we go. It was so lightly. And as you can see, that did not work properly. And see, this is why I like doing why I like doing this on camera with you guys. I'm sorry. You get to see me make the mistakes. There we go. Just add a little water to that and it blended in to become violet. But that paper is peeling. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if you can see that. See how that paper peels? So again, I am testing. You guys can just imagine how this review is going to go for that Artist Loft paper. So there are a few of the basic techniques that I use or that I've become accustomed to with layering watercolors in, or better known as glazing, making your color richer and darker, adding shadow or shading, blending from one color to the next, and actually color mixing. Okay guys, I just want to take a minute and interject really quickly with a little change of pace. We actually will not be doing the mountain range with the glazing today. I realized it's December and I have yet to do anything Christmas related. So I just grabbed another sheet of the 6x6 Master's Touch watercolor paper and threw a poinsettia in the middle, taped it down, and instead of doing the mountains for the layering example, we are going to be coloring the poinsettia with watercolors, simply so we can add a little Christmas spirit and cheer. I mean, it is my favorite time of the year. I have no idea why it has taken me so long to do something Christmas related. So we're going to go ahead and speed up the video and jump right into this. Okay, guys, there you have it, our finished poinsettia painting. I think it turned out pretty well. We did a lot of layering of colors in it, or glazing, if that's what you want to call it. We used it for deepening color. We used it for shading and adding shadow. So yeah, I like the way that it turned out. I'm just gonna go ahead and sign this for a final little touch. And there you go. In full disclosure, guys, I would have to tell you, I have honestly spent 2.5 days putting this video together, and I have had the most issues than I have putting any other video together. But be that as it may, we made it to the end of the road, and I hope you guys were able to get something out of this tutorial today. All right, so if you like the video and you like what we did and the information you received, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Go ahead, hit that bell and subscribe to make sure that you're privileged to stay up to date on all of the latest content being posted to the channel. Lessons, product reviews, art hauls, and whatever else I come up with that I decide I want to share with you guys. Don't forget to head on over to the Facebook page and like the Thrifty Apprentice there so you can keep up with what goes on both on and off camera. We would love for you to like and join us there, hold some conversations. There's a whole comment section at the bottom of this video that I hope you guys please utilize. I would love to chit chat with you, converse, talk back and forth about the tutorial. Let me know whether or not you decided to try this and what are you painting for this Christmas holiday season. All right, guys, if there's nothing else, always remember, as I tell you at the end of every video, just keep painting, just keep painting, just keep painting, just keep painting.